The alarm went off at 6:30, just like it does every single morning. The same annoying buzz. I remember slapping the snooze button, feeling the familiar rough texture of the plastic under my palm. Outside, the early sun was filtering through the blinds, casting stripes across the crumpled sheets. My cat was curled up at the foot of the bed, a little orange ball of warmth. It was all so normal, so real. I shuffled to the bathroom, splashed cold water on my face, and looked in the mirror. And that's when I saw it. Just above my right eyebrow, there was a thin, perfect silver line, like someone had drawn it on with a metallic pen. I rubbed at it, but it didn't smudge. It wasn't on the skin. It was in the skin, and I knew with a sudden chilling certainty where it came from. In my dream, a woman with eyes made of mercury had traced that exact line on my forehead with her fingertip. That's when I realized the dream didn't end. It just changed rooms. At first, I tried to rationalize it. I told myself, I must have scratched myself in my sleep. Maybe I'd brushed against a new piece of jewelry I'd forgotten I was wearing. The line was weird, but my brain, desperate for solid ground, found a dozen plausible if unlikely explanations. I got dressed, made coffee, and tried to push the dream away. The coffee tasted thin, watery, but I figured I just messed up the ratio of grounds to water. I walked outside to head to work. The street looked the same. Same cars parked along the curb. Same crack in the pavement I always have to step over. But the street sign at the corner, it wasn't Oak Street anymore. The letters were a string of symbols I'd never seen, angular and sharp like twisted branches. I blinked hard, shook my head, and looked again. It was back to normal Oak Street. My eyes were just playing tricks on me. Stress, probably on the bus. Two people sitting in front of me were having a conversation. I couldn't hear most of it, just murmurs. But then one of them turned slightly, and I heard her say crystal clear, "The silver marks the door." It was a line the mercury-eyed woman from my dream had whispered. My blood ran cold. I told myself it was a coincidence. A bizarre, unnerving coincidence. I spent the whole day in a haze of denial, brushing off every little inconsistency. The clock at work that seemed to stutter, a coworker humming a tune that had been playing in the dream's background. Each one was a little crack in the wall of my reality, and I was frantically trying to patch them up. I just wanted the day to end. I just wanted to go home and sleep it off that night. I was exhausted. I fell into bed, thinking that a good night's rest would reset everything. It didn't. Sleep made things worse, much worse. Dream of the mercury-eyed woman again. Instead, I dreamed of my own apartment, but it was subtly wrong. The furniture was all draped in white sheets, like it was waiting for movers who would never arrive. And in the dream, I learned something. I learned there were rules. If I tried to leave the apartment through the front door, I would find myself instantly back in my bedroom, the covers pulled up to my chin. If I tried to call someone for help, the phone would just play that strange, discordant music from the first dream. And if I looked in the mirror for too long, the silver line on my forehead would start to move, twisting like a tiny worm under my skin. I woke up from that dream sweating and gasping for air. The apartment was dark and silent. I lay there, my heart pounding, trying to convince myself it was just a nightmare layered on top of a weird day. But then I realized something profound, something terrifying. The dream wasn't trying to scare me. It was trying to teach me. It was trying to keep me. From that point on, my life became a series of false awakenings. I would wake up, go through my morning routine, feel a sense of relief that it was all over, and then notice the clock hands were spinning backward. Or I'd open the fridge and find it filled with nothing but smooth gray stones. Each awakening was a new layer of the prison, more detailed and more convincing than the last. Reality became thin like worn fabric. I could feel the dream pressing against it from the other side, waiting to rip through. I stopped trying to sleep. I figured if I didn't sleep, I couldn't dream. I stayed awake for 2, then 3 days straight. I drank endless cups of that thin, watery coffee. My apartment grew dimmer, the shadows in the corners deeper and darker, but the exhaustion, it was a weight I couldn't shrug off. My thoughts grew fuzzy. The world outside my window blurred into a smear of color and light. And even though I was awake, the dream started happening anyway. I'd be staring at the wall, and it would dissolve into that forest of twisted symbols. The sound of the bus would morph into the whispers. From my dream, I was dreaming with my eyes wide open. The psychological exhaustion was immense. It was a slow, grinding erosion of my sanity. There was no monster to fight, no enemy to confront. Just me and the slow, quiet collapse of everything I knew to be real. The hope I had for waking up for it all to be over. was the cruelest part of the trap. Each time it was offered, it was snatched away, leaving me more broken than before. I started to wonder, what if I never woke up that first morning? What if the alarm, the cat, the sun through the blinds? What if that was all just the opening act? The dream's first, most convincing lie. Maybe I'm still in my bed, lost in a sleep I can no longer escape. Or maybe it's something worse. Maybe I did wake up, but the dream, it learned how to wake up with me. It's not in my head anymore. It's in the room, it's in the air I breathe. It's in the silence between my heartbeats. I don't sleep anymore, not really. But every morning when the sun comes up, it's already there waiting for me. And if you're watching this right now, maybe late at night, getting ready for bed, pay very close attention to what follows you into the morning. Thanks for watching.